Hey guys, thanks so much for reading my article this month. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about shooting for the album. I didn't really write about it, but did want to sort of dive into it a little bit more because this is obviously a very important aspect to being able to tell a story in a wedding album design and obviously in the physical book itself. So, wanted to actually tell a quick story. We're designing an album for a client that we had shot a while back, uh, back basically before we had down really the system of shooting 4 albums. So we were actually closing out this album design and realized that we had absolutely no progression from this absolutely beautiful shot of the bride and groom and standing in the street at the end of the night. So all we had was a full length of the bride and groom looking at the camera. Nothing of them kissing, no tied up shots, nothing of them looking at each other. And it just was really disheartening to know that we had this absolutely great way to close out the album, but really only one option for a shot, or nothing really to tell more of a story. So I wanted to actually talk about a little bit more in terms of actually telling that story. So to start here, we have obviously one of the getting ready spreads. We kept this book really simple, tried to keep it as minimalistic as possible in terms of the number of actual images. One of the big things is actually starting out with both a wide shot and a tight shot. So in this case, we had obviously the overall story where she's putting on her shoes in this image specifically. We have a very tight detail shot of her rosary, and then the tight shots of her face with the absolutely gorgeous window light. So this really tries to bring together uh, more than just a bunch of static photos of maybe just her getting ready or everything being shot on a 1635 wide. This actually brings in more than just looking at it overall. So it really sort of leads you through the entire wedding day. So this is obviously getting ready, and then sort of more of that portrait, really sort of fine art look. Another spread from throughout the actual album. This is obviously a little bit later in the day. Same scenario where we have a wide shot and we have a tight shot. This wide shot really worked out well because we had the negative space on the side, and that's something that I think that a lot of times we forget to do is that sometimes that negative space really is important. It actually really helps to leave room for another type of design or another you know just sort of leading into other images that you can actually put on the page. So in this case, we wanted to again keep it really simple. We left just one image on the opposite spread. So could have we dropped in an additional image of the bouquet? Could have we done a whole number of things? Absolutely. In this case, I really like the simplicity of it, and we kept it as just one image. Again, very very simple spread, but this is actually an instance where having a second shooter was equally important to telling that story and sort of working through that progression. One of us was on the wide angle lens, the other of us was shooting on a 7200, and this really allowed us to capture these 2 frames essentially side by side at the exact same moment. So we're talking literally seconds apart, and that really tells that story. It really shows that emotion. They're almost identical images if you were to crop in on the left one on the image on the left, but that's okay because we're telling the story and we're really showing that emotion. So obviously, shooting with a second shooter can really help drive home that ability to uh, have those storytelling moments that you really wouldn't get if you had just one photographer. You're not going to get that sort of instantaneous same moment look. Uh, just having one camera, it's absolutely impossible. Another thing, sort of, and again, sort of talking about those progressions, those sequences, where we have different looks. So we have bride looking at the camera, we have the two of them kissing, and then obviously the two of them, uh, looking at each other. So just to wrap up, I wanted to just recap what we had actually talked about in terms of shooting for the album. Uh, Progressions are absolutely key. Being able to tell the story from the same sequence of images, both wide and tight shots, absolutely key. The details on the day, absolutely key. These are the things that are going to really make or break telling a story within your album. So just keep these things in mind next time you are shooting a wedding. If you do not currently shoot for albums, try it out. Try to envision what you're going to be shooting and how you're going to lay something out before you go out and shoot it. You'll be surprised at actually how much that helps in creating variance within your own imagery for on the wedding day. So again, thanks again, guys, for reading my article every month. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you next month.